Online, can you hear me? Online, can you hear me? Online, am I audible? Yes. Good. It's too hectic. Good. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Good. How are you all? Fine. Nice. Let's go here. Let's go to file. Let's go to folder. Let's open it up here. HTML. Not 9. Full stack 9. Where is this? Good. Perfect. Oh, okay. The mode since you copied them, go here. Why it is not showing it here? Form basics, yesterday what we have discussed. So what happened here is, whatever I discussed yesterday, I pushed it into the new branch. Okay, I want it in this one. So let me shift it to the new branch. Let's go here. Let's go here. But still, this is the now. Let's go here. Let's go to GitHub. Now let's open 9, full stack 9. I think this is ours. Good. Someone did a pull request. It was similar 2 days back. Now I hope you all remembered how to do Git and GitHub. Everyone did your first push now? Does anyone have any questions in their first push? No. Okay, let's continue with forms, sir, then. Even in online, let's start, sir. Now, yesterday what we discussed, I'm gonna repeat it here. Sir, yesterday we discussed forms will contain inside form tag. The form will be included inside a form tag. Now, inside a form, you will give one attribute called action. What is the attribute, ma? Action. Inside the action, you will give one link, you will give one path, wherever you want your form to be submitted. Wherever you want your form to be submitted, you will give that link, sir. Then you will also give something called method. You have methods like get method, post method. Sir, what if I use get method? What will happen? If you use get method, sir, you will, your whatever the details you are giving, the details will be in the URL. It will show in the URL. But if you give post method, the details will not be shown in the URL. Is it clear, ma? If you use get method, the details will be shown in the URL. But if you give post method, the details will not be shown in the URL, sir. Next, we used input. Input type is equals to text, and then we used some kind of input here. We used input type equals to text. When you use this, one input box will be created. Whenever you write it one input here, input box is created. How do the user know what to enter in the input box? You can use placeholder, or you can put a label. You can put a label. And how do the label will be connected to input? Label will have something called for, and input will have something called ID. For is connected to ID. And inputs also have attribute called name. Inputs also have an attribute called name. The input name attribute will have, like when you submit the form, whenever you submit the form, to where exactly you are submitting the form, what detail you are giving it into the form. You are giving what detail to the form, sir. That is in the name, UN. Sir, I am submitting. So it will say, if I give in the box Prasad, the backend will receive it like UN equals to Prasad. I hope you all remembered it yesterday. We discussed three types. One is username, one is email, one is password. We put one button submit, automatically it will submit. We also used something called field set to create one border. And then we used one legend, sir. Legend will show you on the screen like some gate, like this. This is the code we created yesterday. Does anyone have any doubts in this? Online, does anyone have any questions on this? Online, anyone have any questions on this, ma? No. No. Good. Now, let's go here. Let's go here. Let's create another file. Different inputs. .html. Now, we are going to write different inputs, sir. It's not the only input we are having it, like we wrote input type equals to text, we write it type equals to email, we write type equals to password, but we have so many other types. Okay, let's discuss one by one, sir. Exclamation, enter. Exclamation, enter. Now inputs. Different inputs. Different inputs. Then here we are having different inputs, ma. In these different inputs, first let's create a form. Inside the form, let's create a form. Inside the form, give, in action I'm giving it something like main.py. So where the form will be submitted, sir? Main.py. So form will be submitted to main.py. Now inside the form, I'm gonna give it here something like field set, and I'm gonna write it like a legend, my form. If I click here, go live, it will show you my form. Any doubt, sir? Then go here, go here. Now let's write it here. You can use something like div. I'm using it like each label in one div so that it will be easy for us to understand. Label, username, label, input, type equals to text, and ID equals to UN. I will give here for also UN, and name is equals to also UN. No worries. So if you give same thing, it will be easy for us not to confuse. And then at last, I will write some button submit. Button submit. What will happen, sir, if I create something like this? Then one label will come, username, and some text field will come. So you can enter something in the text field. Whenever you click on submit, the form will be submitted, sir. To submit to where? Where it will go? Main.py. Perfect. Raj, enter. So it is going into main.py and it is saying UN equals to Raj. Clear? Next one. Next one. BR. Why you are giving break? So that I will come somewhat gap. Okay, anyway, every div will come new line only, but I wanted some gap. So I gave BR. Next, I will give here div. This time I want to give email. Label, type here for email, then input, here you will have something input, email. If you don't need to remember, all types, ma. You don't need to remember all the types. If you write it input colon, automatically you will get the type. If you write it input colon, automatically it will give you the type. Input colon email. Input colon email. Then give it here. EM and ID here. EM. Input type EM will give you the email, ma. BR. Just create the form. Okay. Now, if you write something like this, one email input will be opened. If you write something like this, one email input will be created, sir. Next, if I go here, refresh it, see. Any doubts? No. Next, what is the difference between username and email? If I go to username, if I enter something, if I go to use this one, if I type it here, email, that will be okay. But what if here I just give some name? Will it submit, sir? I typed here name, same name if I type it here or something, it won't get submit. It will say, please include at the rate in the email address. Why? Because it is expecting, why? Because it is expecting at the rate and you did not give the at the rate. Clear? Now go here. Next, BR. Now div, next div. Label, PWD. Let's give password. Everyone noted down the whole program today. Today you also write down the whole program with me so that it will be rememberable. Even you can try it, take your phone and then type it, because there are some online compilers. You can type it, it will show you output. That would be more easy. If you have system, you can do it directly in system. No need to write it. Okay. Now, online, is it clear? Online, are you guys are also doing ma? Online, are you guys also doing with me? Online, are you there? Yes. Do it with me, sir. Password. Now next, sir. Input. If you put colon, input colon, password. Input colon, password. Password. Then write it here name. Write it here name. PWD and ID PWD. Write it here name PWD and ID PWD. One second. Input type equals to password. This was the actually what we have done yesterday only. Till now, actually, this is what we have done yesterday only. Now, if you go here, you can see on the screen, something like this. Username, people will enter. Email, people will enter. And password, the moment they are trying to enter password, the moment they are trying to enter, it will not show you the password. Okay. The moment you are trying to enter password, it will not show you, sir. That is the advantage with the type password. That is the advantage with the type password. This is the advantage with the type password, sir. Next, what more types are there? We have so many types. Like, let's go here. Div, label, um, something like each, enter age, Then see, it's up to your wish. If you don't want these labels and all, if you don't want these labels and all, you can use placeholders also. Okay, I am using labels. Instead of type equals to text, I am giving type number. Type number. Input name is equals to age, and then ID is also age only, because ID and fur has to match. Input is a self-closing tag, sir, actually. If you go here now, if you try to enter any value here, let me open it with the on keyboard, on screen keyboard. If I click on this, when I enter D, is it coming, ma? No. But when I enter 5, so it will accept only numbers. Where you can use them, sir? Mobile number or pin code or something like age. Okay. In this kind of cases or OTPs, no, OTPs can be alphabets also sometimes. Okay. Or some kind of tricky one, you need to put only numbers kind of thing, then you will use this a number method, sir. If you write type equals to number, automatically that input will accept only numerical values. Any doubts, ma'am? Any doubts, sir? Now, next, next one, sir. We are now div label. Now enter online. Whoever joined recently, just listen to me, ma. We are discussing different data, different inputs, and we have discussed one new input. We have discussed one new input, which is like age. Now, someone's question is how to keep a limit for 2 digits or 3 digits. You can do that. Actually, there is something called validation. Okay. For that validation, we will see later. Online MD Sarfraz asking question like how do you see the password? Like cross-checking one. Some websites will have show hide or some websites will have eye icon. If you wanted that eye icon or show hide options, you will use something called JavaScript. You will use JavaScript to get it the password, see or unsee the password. Okay. It won't be there in HTML. Is it clear, ma? Next. Label for next one. Enter color, not enter. Choose color, choose color. Now go here for CLR, choose color. Now input type is equals to color. Type is equals to color. Now online, someone is asking it like how to keep a country code for mobile number. If you wanted country code, that also JavaScript only will do, sir. JavaScript will call the API, and based on the API, you will get the country code. Okay. You will not get it like directly in HTML, some option to get the country code. No. JavaScript will take it. Okay. Next one. Choose a color. Name, color, ID, color. name, color, id, color. Now let's see how this color one looks like. If you see, can you see this? Choose color. If I click on this, I can choose whatever the color I like. I can choose whatever the color I like, sir. See? Now when you see the color, imagine I typed the color here. The color will send in a hex code. You can see the color is sent in a hexadecimal format. The last one. Every color will have a code, sir. Every color will have a code. So it will send you the color code of that particular one. Acha, where you can use them? Any guess? Where we can use this color input? Where we can use input like this, where you choose color. What? Tell me. If you go to online shopping sites, you can choose whatever the colors you like. Different colors of lipsticks, different colors of dresses, t-shirts, or something kind of one. Okay. But most importantly, imagine you create some kind of online painting application. You created something kind of online image editing application. Then you need to choose one color to paint. You need to choose one color to some kind of edit. Then you will use something called choose color mostly. Most of the online application, like, see, we are in a Zoom, sir. We are in something like WebEx. If I click on annotate here, I can choose one color now, and similar to that. Okay, you can create the similar ones using choose color option. Next, next one, div label time, mm, which is like choose date, choose date, choose date. Input type is equals to date. Type equals to date. Then name, dt, id, dt, for dt. Use dt. Now, input type equals to date, name dt, id dt, sir. If you go here, you can able to see the date. I forgot to put the br one, so that's why they are coming combined. Let's put a br. Now if I go here, you can see that. Now if I click on this, see, I can select whatever the date I like. I can choose a date. I can choose a date. कोई डाउट है? Any doubts, ma? Next. Similarly, See, these are different types. You can give multiple types of inputs in JavaScript. Then you can use similarly, you can also use div. You can use something label for, you can use something called time. Time. Now select time, select time, then go here, input time, input time. Now here name, TM, ID, TM. Now, sir, can we use drop downs on online? Someone is asking. Yes, you can use drop downs. We will discuss it. We have select. See, I can select the time. Can anyone tell me where this time, where this date can be useful? Hmm? Ticket booking. In ticket booking, we don't select time. We select the trains only. But for date, we will select ticket booking, hotel booking, or any kind of booking. Okay. Or even in cinema also same. But what about the time one where you select? Stop slot. Perfect. You are booking one meeting with someone. So you will book the slot. Perfect. Yeah. Next appointment or something kind of one. Same meeting and all. You can also use it actually. We will daily use it something for alarm. Even though it's an internal application, but I'm just showing you this kind of things can be done using that. Okay. If I'm creating one alarm application, in my application, I want to put the alarm one and I want to use something called, basic React Native or something kind of Angular one, then I will use this one. Okay. Uh, Next one. Next one. PR. Div, div label, label. Now, next, date, time, local, date and time. Write it here, date, not this, per input, date, time, local. Date, time, local. Give it date, time, local, sir. Date, time is not working. So get date, time, local will give you a comprehensive answer. If you give date, time, local, DTL, DTL. I will show you what it will show, ma. Don't worry. Last one. Whoever taking pics. Just write it, ma. Don't take pics. Because pics, if you take it, you will never write only. We will feel it like we will later write, but we won't write. Okay. Now next, if I go here, can you see what it is saying it? It is allowing you to select a particular date with a particular time. Now tell me, Ray, can anyone where you can use this in real time? Where you can use it? Mm, Online IRCTC. IRCTC, you will not give time. You will give date only. Two dates you will give. It will show. Google Calendar. Appointment is perfect. Same thing you can use it for appointment. Which date with. Another one which you can do. Astrology apps will take it like this only. Birthday. It will take it the time. Is there anyone registered in matrimony app? That also will ask something similar only. Okay. In that also it will be similar one. Next one. Let's go here. Now let's go. Div label. Oh, I forgot to give here for value, which is like TTL. Now next label. This time what I can give input button is over checkbox color date checkbox we will do. Don't worry. Color date time local email file upload your image img file img names img. Now if you give something like this, now you can select whatever the file you like. You got my point, ma? You can select the files directly and you can keep it up. Next. Label. Label. Input. Input. Mm, We can directly bring it up. Input. Colon. Password. You can use image one. Image one is not working now actually. It's old one. You can use month, select month. Here also month. Now if I go here, I can able to select a particular month and a particular year. Where we can use this, sir? Where you can put it this particular month, year of passed out, correct. Which year you passed out is correct. This one will take it that only. Okay. Or next. div, you can choose week also actually. This is one of the interesting one. Usually Indians don't use it. We don't use it for this. Okay. Select particular week. What is this? Uh, Just a minute. Don't show now on the screen. What's in it? Good. You can select a particular week. Okay. Now you can have input, which will be week, name week, kind of ID week. Do you guys know how many weeks will be there per year? How many weeks will be there per year? 52. Very good. A basic aptitude question it is. Do you know in leap year how many weeks will be there? In leap year, how many weeks will be there? 52 only. One more day extra will be there. That's it. Seriously. Go down. You can see week. In some countries, people will select the things based on week number. Week number 45. We are actually in week number 46 now. So if you give it something like this, obviously we will never say week 44, week something. In corporate meetings, sometimes they will choose this kind of craziness. Okay. In that kind of thing, you can say that. Next. Or div this time label plus input. This time what we can do, week, month, week, or range. Select range. Select range. 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 We can select a particular range, sir. If you do this, we can select a particular range, sir. See, we can select a particular range, ma. Or next, we are div label input colon. You can give, I think I gave week. I can give something called URL. URL link, enter link, URL. Similarly, like email, URL will also allows you to take only the URLs. Like if I give here enter link, imagine I enter something like Raj. Okay, and if I try to submit it, it will say, please enter a valid URL. Okay, so you should write it something google.com or something kind of thing. Okay, then only it will work. Okay, next, next, BR. Now div, label, enter, select week, select range, enter link. Now you can say, you can use something called search also. Search here. Usually people don't recommend that writing search into the form. Okay, always search button should be separate. I will show you why. Input search, search for search, ID search. Now go here. Now go here, search. You can search here whatever you like. But the problem is, imagine I'm searching it web. See here, you get a cross mark and also. But if I click on enter, what is happening? The form is getting submitted. Can you see that? Did I enter any other values? No. Before I entered, only the form will get submit. Automatically, you don't need any button, sir. When you are using search, the moment you press enter, it will submit the form. If you are using search, the moment you press enter, it will submit the form. And you don't want this to happen. And you don't want this to happen. Like you enter something and you don't want it to submit and all. Then better not to write search in the form. That's why if you see, always search boxes will be separate. Okay. Now next, next, div, label, after search, we can use something like hidden field, hidden field. You don't need it any label only. I will write it here. Input, hidden, name, something, secret, value, Prasad. Now go here. Can you see any field after search? Can you see any field after search? Now again I'm telling it search. Search is like search will create one input box. If you try to enter something, the moment you enter, it will submit the form. I write it one more input, ma. I wrote one more input, that is input hidden. If you see it, you cannot see that. There are some times where you don't want to show user some details when they are submitting the form. Okay. Now imagine I gave you one form, Ray. For every form, I keep one ID. When you submitted, I should know na which form gets submitted. For every form, I gave one ID. But I don't want you to know that my ID. Okay. Are you all getting my point? When you submit the form, like form number 340, I gave forms to so many people. Okay. I wanted like responses from you only. So that's why I gave for you all whatever form I gave one ID. So when you submitted, what will happen? I will get a response like form number 3142 got one response, right? But I don't want you to know that your form number is 3142. Okay. Then I will add one in hidden field. That hidden field will contain a name and value, and this also will be sent when you submit. When you submit, this also will went to the back. But you don't know that something like that is existed only. Okay. By default, it will take always same. If I submit it, you can see here, C secret equals to Prasad is also submitted. Any doubts, ma'am? Any doubts, sir? No. You can even write, you can even write input button. Value is submit. Acha, what is the difference between input type equals to button, value submit, and normal button submit? And if you see, both look same. The difference is, sir, the difference is, first thing, input is a self-closing tag. If you want to write submit, you have to write it in value. But input is, this button is like a normal tag, so you will write it in middle. Second one, both are actually same, both are actually input button only. Input type equals to button only. Instead of writing it as a inline element, instead of writing it as a, uh, self-closing tag, they wanted to make it as a normal element, and then they created it. Even though you write button, internally they will take that button as input type equals to button only. Okay. You can write whatever you want. Literally they are same, but just different representations. The way they are representing is different here. Now, whenever you click on submit, we like to submit it. Now, next one, sir. If you go here, you can give directly one form, which is input, submit, input, submit. If you give one button will come, which will be only submit button. Now, what is the difference? Normal, these two are normal buttons, sir. Actually, these two are normal button. If only one button is there in the form, if only one button is there in the form at the end, that form automatically will become submit button. But imagine now I gave specifically submit button. Remaining to all are normal dummy buttons. You can put it for anything. Like for example, sir, just when I click on a button, some pop-up will come. When I click on a button, one slider will go. I can put buttons anywhere I want. When I click on a button, video will play. Buttons can be used multiple ways, but submit button is used only to submit the form. I will give one more button, which is reset button. Reset. If I go here, if I try to enter something, and if I come here, if I click on reset, everything you entered in the form will be resetted. When you click on submit, everything will be submitted. Any doubts, sir? Is there any doubts, ma? Online, is it clear, sir? Online, is it clear, ma? Online, does anyone have any questions, sir? Clear. Now, next. Let's see any other things were there. Input, colon, weak URL text. One more thing is there. Tel. Tel is used for telephone values, which is like phone number. For phone number, you can use tel, which will give you same like number. Okay. Tell you can use it for phone numbers or any more. Range reset, radio we didn't discuss. We will discuss number, month, image is not working, hidden file, email, daytime, local. Good. We did not discuss the three things, sir. We did not discuss the three things. One is checkboxes. One is radio buttons. And one is select box, like drop downs. Drop downs. We need to do drop downs. We need to do radio buttons. We need to do checkboxes. Okay, more anyway, we will discuss them. Once we discussed checkboxes, radio buttons, and drop down, sir, then we will see like validations. How do you validate those things? Once you see validations, ma, HTML will be over. Okay, mostly by end of this week, it will be over. Any doubts, sir? Is there any doubts, ma? No. But always try to push your code into GitHub, and from GitHub try to connect it to Netlify if you are possible. Okay, now imagine you already pushed your code to GitHub. You open Netlify and add new site. Earlier add new site we used to write deploy manually, but instead write it here import from existing project, and then click here GitHub. Import from existing project. Click here GitHub. Then it will show you so many files. Select which file has that particular one. Automatically in that file, whatever is there, it will come to here and you can click on it. It will deploy the website. Okay. What is the advantage in this? The advantage is if tomorrow you made one change in the website, then again you will push it into GitHub now. Automatically it will change it here also. If you deploy manually, every time you change, you have to deploy it again and again. But this one is like connectivity will be there. Is it clear, ma? Yeah. That's it for today. You can refer the GitHub. Complete notes will be there. Drive having an issue, I will update it tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Good. Offline, if any doubts, you can stay, ma. If no doubts, you can leave, sir.